My guest is Susan Freeman. Susan is the president and CEO of the Brunswick County Chamber of Commerce. Susan, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
I've enjoyed chatting with you for just a few minutes before the show and looking forward to knowing more about you and our Chamber of Commerce. Let's start with Avery County, which is from whence you have come.
I have. Actually, I worked in Avery County, that's Banner Elk and Beech Mountain, for about 10 years, and found my way through Pennsylvania, worked for Habitat for Humanity for about 6 months there, and then an opening came with the Avery County Chamber, and I just thought, why not? You know, it was a good fit over. A lot of things I had already done, and thought it'd be a nice part of my journey.
Now, our viewers will know that Avery County is in the mountains, but tell us exactly where that is and your journey here.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it, I've worked for, in the chamber world, as they call it, for 16 years, and it seems like I've always worked for a county chamber. So Avery County was Banner Elk, Newland, Beech Mountain, that area there, ski country, Sugar Mountain.
Heavily into tourism.
Heavily, about 87% of it is tourism.
Okay.
So there was very few positions open for manufacturing. So when you were there, we had a shorter season than in Brunswick County. So you had to really know your business and make your way quickly and do it well.
Our viewers will be interested to know that one way or another you found your way from there to here, to Brunswick County. How did it happen?
Well, what happened is we actually left Avery County. My husband had worked for a manufacturing plant, which was that other percentage of small business that was there. And we thought, well, you know what, let's like kind of get off the mountain for a little bit. It'd be 4th of July and we'd still be in our sweatpants. I mean, and it was great for a long time, and we love it up there, don't get me wrong. But we wanted a little bit warmer weather. So he had applied and took on a plant in Tarboro, Edgecombe County, North Carolina. We were there for about 5 years, and it was just kind of a wild experience there. I never thought I'd be working for the chamber again. And the chamber director came to me and said she was stepping down. So with that, the tourism committee and the chamber got together and said, well, we're going to combine both positions. So I was actually the director of tourism and the chamber.
Okay.
And we were there for 5 years. Then all of a sudden, I started looking for jobs just out there on this one posting, and Brunswick County has, I guess, always just kind of followed that for a long, long time, from different conferences I go to or things I'd hear or just going to the beach here.
You told me that Brunswick County found you.
It did find me.
Rather than vice versa.
It did. I would go onto the website and I'd look at this position and I think, oh, you know, well, you know, we weren't quite ready to make the move yet, but I'd go back and I'd research the area a little bit and go, man, I really want to be there. So I love the fact of getting back. We're in tourism. I love tourism.
Sure.
I love the fact of being and meeting and greeting people who are coming to the area.
And we're all about tourism.
Yep, and we can get up to 100 folks that will come through our chamber office in a day. I mean, that's crazy to me. I mean, I thought it was a lot when I left Avery County. And they're looking for things from maps to locations to relocate here in this beautiful area that we call home.
So you've been here 2 or 3 months.
I have been.
Give our viewers some initial impressions of your arrival.
The folks that live here, I think everyone's on beach time.
Okay.
You know, when I left the mountains, I thought we were kind of laid back. The interim part of the state was not really that laid back. They were finding their way. And when I got here, it's like the whole personality of folks changed. It's great.
More laid back than Avery County?
Yeah, actually so, a different kind of laid back.
Yeah.
You know, they're, yeah, it is. It's neat. I like it. It's very nice. The folks here are just very welcoming. I mean, I got here, and the minute I got here, folks were having welcome receptions, bringing by gift baskets, just introducing themselves and sharing their story.
You're originally from Pennsylvania?
I am.
Okay.
Home of Little League World Series. Just watched that.
That's right, Williamsport.
Right. I just watched that over the weekend.
Right.
It was great to see those little junior baseball players get out there, and they did a nice job.
Well, we have you here.
We do.
What were your earliest priorities upon your arrival?
Well, when I was first interviewed by the board, I mean, I've always taken this initiative not to make any changes unless necessary, because there's a lot you can learn from your predecessors. The gal that had been there before me, well respected in the community, and I wanted to see what she had actually done. And like I said, I had actually followed her journey through media, different programs that she had started, and we had implemented some of the membership in my previous position. So when I got here, I didn't want to do anything except, just kind of take in everything. In the meantime, we've made some changes, more logistically than anything, because I'm jumping in 3 months in and I'm learning about the Small Business Development Committee,
Right.
the Women in Business Committee, the Oyster Festival Committee.
And we'll talk about some more about that in a
Right.
moment.
And so I'm not really taking a lot of changes in, I'm just learning a lot from those folks that have been here.
How many members are in our chamber?
There are 521 members.
Okay, okay. I know a little bit about the chamber, but I'm eager to learn more. People would be surprised to know all the various services that our chamber and many chambers offer. Can we talk about those for a moment?
Yeah, this chamber offers a lot of services to its
It
members.
is, it's amazing.
And not that we know where we're moving to yet for sure, but the chamber will be relocating its offices due to a restructuring of the road coming up shortly. But with that, one of the things that we observed as a board and as staff is that our chamber members love to be connected. They love to have that touch of the chamber and what we can give back to it. We have a large umbrella of marketing. In our email blasts and our connection to the community, we can reach up to 10,000 folks.
Wow.
I mean, and so we just sent out the Oyster Festival Facebook post recently, and there were up to 35,000 people wanting to come to the community, wanting to come to the event. So with the Chamber of Commerce, we are here to support our small business partners, of course. We are membership driven. We are a 501c6, which again, membership supported. And I am coming in to try to find those values to increase membership and retention.
Let's talk about services. I know you have daily events that are ribbon cuttings.
We do a lot of ribbon cuttings.
I was surprised. I went online and learned that you have them every day.
It seems like
Sometimes
that.
more often.
Yeah, we do.
But you work with regional chambers.
We do. Actually, I just met with the Wilmington Chamber Director.
We'll talk some more about the Oyster Festival. You have an outstanding board.
I have an outstanding board.
I reviewed the board members, and I
Thank
know
you.
so many of them, and they are outstanding in their community.
They're engaged.
Absolutely.
And that's what I really have enjoyed about this board.
And all through the years, my impression is that there's been a strong board,
What's nice about it, when you have a board of directors, that when you call them and you have a situation or a question, they're there to answer your questions. I mean, that's very important to me, especially being new to the region and making sure I'm following the tactical moves that we should be. But also the engagement of them. I mean, they're fun, they're working in their communities, professionals.
Very busy.
Very busy, and to take the time to meet with us. So I try to keep everything focused when we have board meetings, try to take a lot of them off their plate, and I want the community to know who they are. Like, when we have a ribbon cutting, for example, and I that's one thing I have changed. A lot of times staff will be the one that engages in all the conversation and shares everything about what the chamber does and welcomes them. Well, we've enlisted the board members to do that. I have folks on our board from First Citizens Bank and small business owners, jewelry shop owners, awesome website guy Dave, and I just want folks to know that they are taking their time from their busy schedules to make a difference in our community in Brunswick County, and they have.
Here's a key word that you mentioned, small business owners. Now, amidst our viewers are I'm sure, many small business owners that may not be members of the chamber. What do you offer, and what do you offer to a prospective member out there that he or she or they might not have?
Sometimes it's truly just customizing it to their needs, and that's what I sit down and find out. Like what your needs may be as a larger corporation may not be the same as a small business person.
Sure, absolutely.
Definitely differences,
Yeah.
and how they even perceive things. Trying to find conferences that will allow them to better their services. That's one thing that the chamber can, that's what I'm doing. Training, we're working on a few things with a small business center to have them come in the community college with positions that they have and opportunities that they have to just collaborate in partnership on those services.
Sure, sure.
One thing we do offer a lot is marketing. I believe as a small business person, you can't get out. I mean, when you have like 10 or 12 employees that are on your payroll, you get out and attend conferences, you can get out and attend all these meetings. But when it's just you and your wife, you have to stay there and keep your doors open.
Very well said.
So a lot of that we have to go back and rethink, like when are we going to do our ribbon cuttings? When are we going to do our lunches? What kind of programs can we offer? And there's a lot of opportunities here, and we do engage in those. And marketing, again, is one of them. Social media is huge. Like I said, we have 10,000 folks that we can instantly connect with. So why not take advantage of it? So being a chamber member, you get free e-blast with that. So just send me what you have on your plate, something new and exciting, and then we'll send it out to different media levels, different platforms. Because
and for the small business owner, he or she might feel somewhat alone. You know, they're working hard in this small business. This connects that individual to the community, to the business community.
We have this one program started again by an ambassador, and we love our ambassadors. We have about 24 that are part of our organization. Right. And they're the ones who show up at 8 o'clock in the morning for our ribbon cuttings, and they are just supporters, and we love them, and we thank them so much. But he started this thing called Thursday Perks.
Okay.
And it has...
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's twice a month. And we have a group of chamber members that get together and they share their story for like 30 seconds. So it's your elevator speech given out. You know, elevator speeches now are like, what, 5 seconds?
Yeah.
This gives you like 30 seconds to share your story. Okay. Then they also take references, you know, referrals. So like say you are a cobbler and you need shoes and you know someone that has shoes you can fix, that sort of thing. In this group that we share around, you
Suddenly
find
they're
they're connected. And last year they had $144,000 of revenue shared in this group of how they, through their services that they offered.
Fantastic.
It might be printing, you know, it might be something that, you know, maybe you just have this person who shows up at this group, from a baker to a caterer to our many realtors in the area. You know, it's huge in this region to have that. And they're all just like sharing that short snippet.
Right.
It's fun. And we have anywhere from like 24 to 40 folks that show up. So getting back to our move where the chamber's going to go, that was one thing that was the essential part of everything, was making sure that we had a large community room for our members to stay connected in.
Sure.
And it will be announced shortly, but I think we found that spot because as we look through, we want to grow it. And we want to make sure if you have a question that we're there to answer it. And trust me, if I can't answer, I'm going to find someone that can. That's my goal.
Let's look at an even bigger picture. Let's talk about economic development for the entire county. There are prospective businesses that want to move to Brunswick County. One of the first contacts, it seems to me, would be to check in with the Chamber of Commerce.
They do. There's certain levels of what they will connect with, and it depends on where they want to go. And we will find that first touch many times, even from those that are individuals relocating here. They just want to know the economic impact of what's going on here.
Right.
Like, you know, where's the best spot to be? And then we connect them where they need to go with. And it might be the town. It might be a local official. It might be our small business development group that's there that can answer these questions.
It's the connection.
It's the connection.
Right. Let's take a brief break, and we'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Having done some research, you know, everybody has access to research today, Google and everything else, but I didn't want to put something so important as my family's security of my property, to something that I did myself. It really was not a tough decision for me to go with ATMC. Peace of mind is the biggest thing that I receive from the system. Not only can I monitor my home inside and out while I'm away, but not long after our home had been broken into, my grandson was there and he said, Papa, can you turn the alarm on tonight? And so that's gold to me, to know that he felt more comfortable at night, that he was protected by something other than, even though he knows I will protect him, there was something else.
Brunswick Search and Rescue Team is a 501c3 organization which was begun back in 1997, so we're going on our 22nd year, who searches and trains dogs and individuals with search and rescue techniques to find lost and missing persons. We have seen the development of the use of drone in emergency services expand over the course of the last few years, and of course the cost is quite prohibitive, and with the help of companies like ATMC, it shows that they support our efforts, and it's their way of saying thank you, let us be a part.
ATMC is a foundational group that every year supports all of these activities that are taking place in our county. all of the community members that really spend time, volunteer their efforts, whether it's with young people, whether it's with the elderly, or in our case, the search and rescue for the community. ATMC provides funding that they would, and we would no longer, our drone that we just purchased, we would not have been able to do that without ATMC's generous donation to us.
We're back with Susan Freeman, the new president and CEO of the Brunswick County Chamber of Commerce. So far, I've enjoyed our interview. We've covered a lot of ground, but let's see if we can cover some more.
Oh, very good.
Gosh, you mentioned women in business. Can we talk about that for a second?
It is a committee of the chamber, and they do learning experiences and workshops for the women in the county. You don't have to be part of the county, actually, but they were going to put on a workshop on the 17th of September, and it's about just self-esteem building.
Sure.
And I think that I can see a lot of that going on in our county, where everyone's just so, like you said, they're working together. They value each other's company. And when you go to these meetings, I mean, these are volunteers that are professional women who have families and have other outside things they do, and they're so taken in by our county and its success that they get together and do these workshops. And they have something going on every different time. There's the Women of Impact that's coming up, and this small committee, or these small committees, I should say,
Okay.
handle a lot of this.
Yeah. Let's go to the biggest item of all, and that is the Oyster Festival.
And I cannot wait to attend it this
It's the
year.
premier event of the year for the Chamber. It's October 19th and 20th. I think I have that right.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about that for a while. Give us I've been to the Oyster Festival more times than I can count, but tell us how you see the Oyster Festival.
And you know, it's crazy. As we were sharing before, I came from Avery County. So during the Oyster Festival weekend, we always had the Woolly Worm Festival.
Right.
So I never could leave the county to experience these other great
But you
festivals.
knew about it,
I read
right?
about it, and they were actually involved with Visit North Carolina, so I could go on there and read a lot about it. That's our state tourism site. So I did learn a lot about it. Again, it's a committee of about 20 folks that get together on a monthly basis, if not more often as we get closer to the festival, and each of them takes on a role of the festival, from the food vendors to the logistics, and we have it this year. We're working on
Each of
logistics.
those is a big job.
It's a huge job.
Yeah.
And you know, I just sit there every time I go into these meetings, they'll say, so what do you want to do differently this year? How do you see us doing this? And I think they're doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. To be putting on a festival that's now in its 39th year, and I sent out an email blast again. I'm up to like 25,000 folks that are on this e-blast that are just taking everything in, and they're just enjoying, like, are you coming this year? I need to come this year. The energy of a festival on the water. I'm so excited.
And it gathers, what are the numbers, 25 or 30,000
There's about
people?
15,000, 16,000
Okay.
that come on Saturday, and then a total of 30,000 throughout the weekend.
Fantastic.
So we've started the marketing for that. Again, they're just working through all the final logistics and meetings. We're having a meeting in 2 weeks where they're going to set out the vendors and start placing everybody. And I can't wait to see how they do it.
Let's say to our viewers, put this on your calendar, October 18th.
Well, that's when they get there.
Right, but October 19th and 20th
Right.
At Ocean Isle. Come to the Oyster Festival.
Yeah, check out the website before you go. They have
Okay,
a lot of the
good.
details as well on there, ncoysterfestival.com. And that's what I've seen, because, you know, we are in this, on the island. So, you know, the Ocean Isle. So when you get there, you have to think, well, how am I going to, like, my transportation? Am I going to walk? Am I going to stay there? My recommendation is that you start calling all the hotels right now. I mean, and just be able to walk to the festival back and forth. It's a 2-day event. Why not? We're having Red Hair actually as one of our beer sponsors this year, and that's the first time we've actually done this. So it's going to be another layer of what they're doing. There will be an Oyster Festival pageant that will take place prior to the event. So again, go check out the website for all the details.
Check out the website and then come.
And then come.
Yeah.
It's a fundraiser for the Chamber of Commerce. It's one of our largest fundraisers. So that's another good reason to come there. What I like about it, what I see, they have this thing called the local lane. So if you're a
Local lane. Okay, all right.
And that's what I thought too when I first heard it. I thought, what is that? Where you have our local retailers that have applied for a booth space there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different than your craft vendors that have to produce their product and make their product. These folks bring their product from their stores to sell because, thinking about it, there's a lot of tourists that will be there. And so they're shopping not only for anniversaries, vacations, Christmas, weddings, and they need all this different mix of things that they can take back from Brunswick
There's
County.
something for everyone.
Everything.
Yeah.
You're right.
I want to transition to a larger issue because the ATMC community covers most of the county. There are other chambers here in the county. Can we talk about how you cooperate and how you work with the other chambers, even though you're the Brunswick County Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, we're how'd you say it? We're actually in partnership with a lot of them. We're going to be doing Leadership Brunswick coming up.
Right. I was a part of that years ago.
That
Yeah.
looks amazing.
It's an excellent program.
So what would you say about that? Because I know there's folks that need to come participate in that.
Well,
And we are looking for people to participate.
Especially if you're new to the county and have leadership skills or desire to be a leader in the community. They meet once a month for 11 or 12 months. On each of those 11 or 12 months, there's a different topic. One might be government, one might be commerce, one might be tourism, but there are 11 or 12 different topics. And on each of those, the group meets and hears from prominent speakers or experts in those fields. It's a dynamite program.
It's excellent, you know, from what I've read and seen of it. Again, I've not experienced this part of it down here yet, but still, we are looking for it. If you've not been involved in it, I'm saying that you should. You know, have your employer, you know, pay your way,
Right.
pay your own way. I find that that's the best way to get to know your community. And like you said, you know, you go to these things and you learn these little snippets of things you would never have thought about before.
Yeah.
And then you're part of Brunswick County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I speak to that group every year when they come to the government center.
That's
And-
right,
and
you
it's-
are on
it's
our list.
excellent. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
South Brunswick Business Development. Tell
A
our
lot to
viewers
say.
about that.
This is a group of, again, about 15 to 20 folks in our community, business leaders. They get together and they have put on, they're kind of like the backside of different things that might be needed for our county. They look at economic needs. They're trying to grow Brunswick County as well and work with larger
So
partnerships.
they're long-term planners or
Well, you know, and again, I'm just kind of gaining a lot of what we do there, but they're just engaged in Brunswick County. They're aware of what the economic impact of certain manufacturing groups that come in,
Sure.
and they're trying to engage more businesses to come to our end of the county. You know, when you get up to Wilmington and Leland, you know, there's a lot of manufacturing and groups up there. So we need to pull that to our end of the county. We need to make sure that those resources are available. You know, the trades and technology are huge, and we understand that we can, you know, engage our young folks, reinvent ourselves a lot of times.
Yeah, right.
That we can get those larger manufacturers to come in.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this next question is appropriate or not, but I'll ask it anyway. Because I'm a huge fan of Brunswick Community College and because it has such a dramatic impact on our community, how does the Chamber relate to Brunswick Community College?
We have several on our board that are with the college. Timothy Randall, excellent connection with our community. We work a lot with the small business development team. We just put on this Kids Expo.
Sure.
It was well done, and we had April Scott that came in, and she was teaching these little peanuts about how to handle their business, their soft skills. And a lot of folks don't know what a soft skill is.
Right.
That's like having eye contact, shaking your hand with someone, telling your story. And she worked with them 2 different times to have these young entrepreneurs tell their story. And I've really enjoyed working with the community college.
There was a nice article in the newspaper with pictures of that event. Very nice. Yeah.
And the partnerships that you build there with that. So yeah, I'm working on more with that.
I'm not sure if did we talk about the newsletter? Do you have a second to tell our viewers about your newsletter?
Well, we haven't really gotten engaged as much in the newsletter right
Okay.
now. Is that what's printed before? I'm not so sure.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, but what we do, we've kind of turned it into being a constant contact newsletter that goes out.
Okay.
Trying to keep my feet very neutral right now. We're just sharing a lot about the events that go on in Brunswick County and letting folks know about that. And it was kind of wild because, you know, the first week I got here, all these folks were walking in our door asking for the music events and the movie events that go on all throughout the county. So here I am calling Melinda and everybody else, Johnson, who's part of our team, and saying, where can I find this information to share? Because if you're walking in the door, taking out 2 or 3 pamphlets, you know there's other folks that are trying to find this.
Well, and if not the newsletter, let's talk about your website, because I've been on your website. It's an excellent website.
Thank you.
Excellent. In the moment or two that we have before we wrap this up, are there any other thoughts that you have? Any other impressions that you have? Speak to our viewers about the Chamber as, what if I not ask you? What would you like to say?
Well, for one thing, if you're not part of the Chamber, you should be.
Right.
We are the county chamber. We have a lot of resources. I believe that the best way to market your business is to share your word in all kind of cross media. And we have made those cross media. Sometimes as a small business person or just new to the community, you don't know where to look for things.
Right.
So walk in our door. We're currently at 114 Wall Street. I always wanted to work on Wall Street, and here I am in downtown Charlotte. We are the hub of what goes on a lot of times, so we can make those connections for you. When you're a small business, you just open a small business, you're trying to find your way, you're trying to make sure that you have everything covered. Come to us, sit down and talk with us first of all to make sure that what you have is a good fit for maybe where you're at, what you're doing, and we can connect you with someone else that can make your way a little bit easier.
That's one of the best wrap-up talks I've heard in a long time.
I'm passionate about what I
Susan
do.
Freeman, thank you so
Thank
much. I've
you.
enjoyed the interview.
Me as well, thank you.
And you're off to a great start.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks again.